Did you read the indictment? It clearly says that I, as well as the other personalities, were victims. We were deceived by people intentionally to trick us into licensing our content to them.
FBI, open up!
Looks like the FBI wants to talk to Tim Pool. Hopefully it's just a fact-finding mission. But, you know, I am worried that the tentacles are extending. If you haven't been paying attention over the past 2 days or so, a simple accusation was all it took to have big tech move and ban a very large conservative outlet from its platform in Tenet Media, and to ban its founder or co-founder, Lauren Chen, with zero evidence, completely nuked from the platform. By the way, it's still available on Rumble. Make sure you download the Rumble app. Follow your favorite creators. There was no evidence. There was an indictment. All an indictment is we're formally accusing you of doing something wrong. It's not proof of it. It's not evidence. It's just saying, hey, we think you did something wrong. That was good enough for not only for YouTube to remove several channels from its platform, but now it looks like the investigation is tentacling out here. Tim Pool saying, I have been contacted by the FBI as a potential victim of a crime. The FBI believes I have information relevant to an ongoing criminal investigation and have requested a voluntary interview. I will be offering my assistance in this matter. I wouldn't be doing that. I don't think you can see basically Robert Barnes saying they aren't asking for an interview to help you. Also, many people in the replies, many other lawyers. Viva Fry, Michael Flynn would like to have a word with you. Nick Soder saying, be careful, these people aren't on our side. Ashley St. Clair, you better bring a lawyer. Hodge twins, wouldn't trust any of them. Wall Street lawyer, Silver, take a lawyer with you. Someone trained in the games the FBI plays to entrap you. Brianna Morello, former Fox, current independent. Yeah, I know you're a very wise man, but I'm going to say it. Make sure you bring a few lawyers with you. They are not our friends. Talking to law enforcement is almost never the right answer. You know, get an attorney, chase guys, or bring a lawyer. You know, I assume, here's DC Drano, dude, don't talk to them without a lawyer. People saying this is a bad idea. There is nothing you have to gain. I would say, I don't think Tim has anything to gain whatsoever from talking to them. I don't think he should. I don't think he has anything. What does he have to gain? Is he going to what? I'm literally asking. What does Tim have to gain from doing this? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. It's lose-lose. I would just say, I'm out, dude. No, I'm not doing an interview. I'm not helping you smear my fellow YouTube friends. I just don't think there's any benefit to it. Now, are there good people in the FBI? I assume. Maybe he would agree to do the interview only live on Timcast. That might be the terms I would agree with. Tim is not, Tim has suffered no actual damages. His reputation hasn't been damaged. He hasn't lost any sponsors. Plus, there's also no actual recourse for him. The guy was making $100,000 piece. By the way, I know this is a VOD, but Steven Crowder just texted me and said President Trump cited the Steven Crowder piece as keeping the pressure on. Well, that's really awesome to see. Fortunately, I didn't get any of that sweet Tenet cash. I was never offered any of that sweet Tenet cash. There is zero evidence, according to all outlets, that any of these people knew. So why would Tim take this meeting? I don't know. I think ultimately probably a net negative for him. The media is already smearing him. The Chicago Sun-Times, how a right-wing podcaster from Chicago landed the center of a federal probe into Russian meddling. Tim Pool, a Chicago high school dropout who became an alt-right media superstar, was apparently paid $100,000 per episode by a covert propaganda campaign funded by Russia, according to a new federal indictment. Now, here's what I'm going to say. All right. I want to be careful here because I respect him a lot. All right. Now we know that it was $100,000 an episode, $400,000 a month. There was no questions asked about that. $100,000 per episode of a show that gets 4,000 to 5,000 live viewers. 400,000. I don't know. Like, for me, if somebody came and offered me 50 grand a live stream, or even 10 grand a live stream, I would be like, what? This can't be real. You know what I mean? I assume he asked some questions. You know what I mean? And I assume because it was coming from Lauren Chen, a real life friend, that probably made it more difficult, or maybe made it easier. But like, holy smokes, if it's $100 grand a show, I would, that's so much more than it's worth. You know what I mean? Like, that's my only concern. Now, that doesn't mean Tim Pool did anything wrong. That doesn't mean Tim did anything wrong. But the amount of money that was offered for me would have been a wild red flag. You know what I mean? That's just, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, though, maybe they sent him this fake documents of this Gregorian individual or all this kind of stuff. And it's also important to point out, I don't know. It's still not a crime. Tim didn't know where the money was coming from. For all he knew, it was coming from some wealthy billionaire right-winger. You know what I mean? For all he knew, they were like, yeah, we got some idiot billionaire funding us who doesn't care about money. And by the way, there's a lot of people out there still that believe that this was a fed up. There are a lot of people that don't believe this was ever from Russia. This could be Tim, like, meme posting because now he's got the Ukraine flag in his bio. Obviously the culture war was back on today. He's memeing with, Slavia, Ukraine, and all this kind of stuff. Again, at no point has anyone, Tim is not, he was lied to in this case. That's exactly what the DOJ even said. So I don't know if I would be getting involved with the Fed. I would just walk away. Tim said he's got 100,000 members paying $10 a month. He's got more money than I could ever imagine. If I had, if Tim had my money, he would burn it. How's that saying? Like, Tim, 100 grand isn't that much money to Tim's operation. I mean, 400 grand. For me, that's a lot. But the bigger thing is here, the FBI affidavit unsealed this week says the Russians are maintaining an active list of 2,800 influencers, 600 of them who are in the United States. The FBI has not released that list. Who else is on it? So they're using this to go to the Mo Russia. Here's a clip from Dan Bongino that I thought was really smart.
But I'd be remiss as a former federal agent to not warn people that given these accusations, are other people, I'm not accusing anyone specifically, I want to be clear. Are people working with the feds right now to try to ensnare other conservative influencers
I believe that.
into this alleged operation?
That's what I believe.
I'm just going to say this. Be very careful who you're emailing and be very careful who you're talking to and be very careful that you're not talking to someone working with the feds on the other end of the line.
Now, I can say for a guaranteed fact that, I've gotten no weird cash offers, nothing out of the ordinary. So I guess I'm just not influential. I suppose I'm not influential enough for this. But to me, I would not be taking any meetings with the FBI. He's got nothing to gain. And it doesn't matter. Like, if he meets with the FBI and the FBI clears him, is the left-wing media going to suddenly be like, oh, great news, everybody. The FBI says Tim Pool isn't a Russian op, so we take everything back that we said about him. You know? Is that, what's going on with that? I don't know, man. I think Tim is smarter than me, and so he doesn't need me to give him any kind of advice. But I'm going to say this, the left-wing media, I'm not going to play this because it's not relevant. It's not Tim, but allegedly it looks like the left-wing media is like having Tim's family call in on him. And they're running all this, oh, he's controlled by Russia, blah, 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 blah. It's all fake. There's no actual evidence of it, and they're saying it anyway. So there's no reason that him interviewing the FBI would change that. I don't know. If Lauren Chen had offered me $50,000 a show, okay, for this show, which does roughly half the numbers of the Culture War podcast, there would have been alarm bells going off from here all the way to Green Bay, Wisconsin. But I can't speak to whether or not I would have taken it because, Tim didn't know he was getting funded allegedly by anybody's foreign ops. He didn't know that. He didn't have to make the moral decision of whether or not to take the money. It's just a friend's company offered him an insane amount of money, overpaid for something. But why even, maybe why even question that? Maybe. If they had offered me a huge sum of money, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a week to do a once a week show, I probably would have taken it. I wouldn't have thought it was coming from the FBI. You know what I mean? So I don't hold any ill will towards Tim. I obviously don't think he's being influenced by anybody. And I hope he's really, really careful if he's going to talk to the FBI. But I'm no lawyer. So I guess that's that.